just caught moving in the wrong direction. Nice to see that applause from Golubic.
Outrageous feel under the ball to go for a drop shot off a slice. That's the most difficult shot you can possibly hit to change the direction of the spin of the ball.
Fine approach to force that error.
1 game all second set.
Her ranking for time even dropped out of the top 100 this season. Golubic had to qualify, indeed, for the US Open. In the build-up to that, played a couple of ITF events, a 1-2-5 series. Also had a thriller against Caroline Garcia on the grass. She was up 5-3 in the third before Garcia came back to win. That was around a week before the run really began for Garcia in Bad Homburg on the grass. Oh, this tennis has been a joy to watch.
15 love.
It's funny how frustrated they're both getting as well, because they're both kind of drawing the worst out of each other. Fun to watch, not so much to play.
When you played, Laura, how did you find facing these types of players, you know, who can mix it with the slice and lure you? Was it like comfortable, or did you feel like you coped with that pretty well?
Oh, playing Golubic was my worst nightmare. Even when I practice with her, you have to use your legs so much more because the slice ball, the backhand just drops so much, and it's draining, honestly. And it forces you like that to go for a shot that you shouldn't, because you don't want to go into that uncomfortable rally and know you have to work so hard.
Look at the pace again on the backhand.
14.
Mukova taken to deuce in her first service game of this set. Now, 2 break points she has to fend off. Nope, she's missed it.
Switzerland.
And it's looking very good for Golubic and the Swiss team. She's up by a set and a break. So, Laura, more on her game, Golubic. When you're playing somebody like her, some out there might think, you know what, okay, the way to play players like that is just to hit through them. Just to go power, power, power. Is that feasible, or?
If only it was that easy. Otherwise, Pliskova would be doing it, but Golubic is so quick around the court, and you can see as soon as they've been getting into a rally, she's so good at going back, letting the ball drop, but moving straight back towards the baseline so that she doesn't get caught playing above the shoulder on her backhand, because she knows that that's her weakness. So when she takes that away from you and you're stuck deciding to, do I go across court and drop into that backhand rally that's going to feel uncomfortable? And it's also her most dangerous side. She can take it early, an open line, and then you end up kind of going towards the middle or towards her forehand more often, which is a bit awkward. It's not really where you would usually practice.
So basically she's a player that can, because of the different things she can do, to get into another player's head.
For sure.
And she has the upper hand in this first match of the second semi-final. Winner of this tie will face Australia in the finale.
Czech Republic are challenging the call on the left baseline. The ball was called out.
Does that suggest that she thinks the ball was good, Golubic?
Yep.
Love 15.
Well, the balls kept coming back. She did have maybe a decent look at it inside out again, Pliskova.
Yeah, over 9 shots. Any longer rally, really. Golubic coming on top.
Let for service.
Oh, yes.
15-13.
Dropped the return, a little bit short. Pounced on by Golubic.
She's been so good today at anticipating those short ones.
Perhaps thought she really had to come in there. Golubic forced in off the net cord.
30-14.
Break chance. Nope. A little hesitation on the backhand from Golubic. Big game you feel there from Pliskova to quickly hit back, and she has done so.
Maybe needed that bit of luck on the net cord to force Golubic in on the previous point.
Foul shot. Foul.
The umpire called it in the middle of the rally,
That's a confident call.
saying it's a double bounce. Oh, that was a tough call.
Just to refer to this.
But you didn't see it then?
It would be a different bounce. Because the ball went like this. If you hit it, then it would be different angle.
Let's see. Can't see it there.
It's not that one. The one before, when she picked it off the short ball, it didn't look like a double bounce.
She was very quick to jump in, the chair umpire.
Good response. No, nothing wrong with that at all.
Just judging by that replay, it looked perfectly good.
Maybe from the side there was a different look at it, but I'm struggling to think what it could be.
Well, certainly be desperate for a hold, the Czechs, to make that inconsequential. Just waiting to see how this game ends, to see how big that call was.
Julie's back.
Former captain for Great Britain. Two sons, of course, excelling. Andy and Jamie in tennis. Great movement, very quick up at the net.
40-30.
Well, as soon as Golubic has added a bit more pace on the ball, Mukovic just can't get over the top of it.
Brilliant.
Advantage Switzerland.
Both players making some incredible pickups in that rally. Behind the shoulder from Mukovic.
The backhand variety in terms of the direction from Golubic has been so good.
3 games to 2 seconds.
Gets the break right back, but that first point and that call was so big in the context of the game. 3-2.
I can't believe that call still. So unusual when it's right in front of the umpire like that. And I don't know what she thought happened.
We applaud the umpire for jumping in, because sometimes we say, you know, with all the technology now, they don't say anything or do anything. They don't jump in. So she clearly thought that there was something, but just from what we saw, it didn't seem like there was anything wrong with it.
This is what I don't understand, why you can't have a video replay of that. It'd be so simple, no arguments. If you have the capacity for it with the challenges, why can you not challenge a double bounce?
Let's see if something like that does happen, because it has been talked about in tennis for a couple of years now. Now, she did miss the little scoop in reply, Golubic, when she got there. However, it must be said that the call was made by the chair umpire before that, so maybe that put her off. We don't know. But had there been no call in the first place, still no way of knowing how it would have ended. But it was one heck of a tremendous volley from Bukova. Well, sometimes maybe needing the rubber of the green in these big matches.
Love. 15 all.
Well, maybe she was expecting the inside in and caught that one a bit late.
Yeah, she was gesturing to herself that she was reaching for the ball, so naturally moving off to that forehand side to cover the line ball. Two missed second serve returns in this game. And it's a tricky second serve, don't get me wrong, because it's got that side spin on it and it's not very fast, so you have to generate everything yourself. Those are two balls that she would wish she'd just made in the court.
Especially in this situation, but she comes back nicely with that forehand.
And that was a different sort of serve. It had more on it, so she could have taken that width, gone for a more straightforward cross-court forehand.
Wait, please.
One of those, maybe Golubic felt like she might have had less time than she actually did.
It looked like she actually used both hands, double-handed backhand off the return.
Now she's looking for the
That was
not
not
up.
up. No call. I think eventually the call was going to come from the umpire, but
Advantage.
very late.
Czech Republic.
An otherwise outrageous point for Pliskova.
Yeah. Well, that was the finish, and there was an outstanding half-volley pickup on the baseline. Oh,
Czech Republic a challenge in the call on the right baseline. The ball was called out.
In.
oh.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Oh, she might feel like everything is going against her. Maybe not, as the break comes.
New ball plays, ball change. 3 games all, 20 seconds.
Still out watching is Pliskova. As they've all said this week, players from different teams, it's so hard to be watching the energy that is expended. Oh, back comes Golubic.
Love 15.
Nothing you can do about that.
Just have to be careful. She didn't touch the net.
15 all.
In trouble again on her serve, and surely we're not headed for a 5th straight break.
Oh, sumptuous.
15-14.
Well, she made that shot look easy. It was not. It had so much rotation on it that it looked like it was going well wide and just dropped in. Sets up another 2 break points.
Ghosted and played the point perfectly.
30-14.
Should have gone line with the backhand volley. Even if Mukova had managed to get there, it would not have been an aggressive shot that she would have hit. And this was such a good move, but just to cut across the ball like that and change direction, it's such a difficult shot to play.
And that was a difficult volley. Forced to hit up.
Switzerland lead 4 games to 3 second sets.
It is indeed 5 straight breaks. So getting ever closer now is Viktorija Golubic, 4-3 in the second. Had that big year last year, did Golubic, and when she was talking about the breakthrough that she made, she said, yeah, it took her a while to really feel like she believed in herself, to believe in the skills that she had out on court. But she did put it together last year, and you'd have to say this has not been a bad year at all for Golubic, having to back up what she did last year and mention her ranking points coming off Wimbledon outside the top 100, now back inside the top 8, and could end really big end of the year.
Yeah, even just 2 weeks ago, made the final of a big challenger where a lot of top players were playing because they weren't quite ready to end the season. So just to have that bit of confidence coming into an event like this, and you know, this time last year she didn't get picked for the matches in the semis or the final of Billie Jean King Cup, so to have that vote from the captain, and now to be a set and a break up, looking to finish on a high, and whoever wins this tie really is the favorite for the final.
Yep. Swiss have never won this event. Czechs last winning it in 2018.
It's quite a long time ago for them.
15 love.
Coming in without their top 3 ranked players, and Petra Kvitova. She's the number 1. Oh, yes, caught the line.
30 love.
She's on a roll now, rushing through the points.
Petra hasn't played this event for quite a while. See if we see her again in the Billie Jean King Cup.
Oh, look at the pace on the ball now from Golubic. She's up to level. Not taking the risk of losing her service game again.
Yep, it's all back to that purple patch that we saw in the first set. There's Teichmann looking on in the corner with a smile on her face. One more game required.
Well, you could play a better game to go 5-3 up in the second, to give your team that 1-love lead in the tie. A bit of everything.
Just a reminder that teams that have won the first match in a tie have gone on to win. Tie the entire week, not one comeback from love 1 down. fact, also, Laura, looking it up, there's only been 2 players this week who've gone onto court trailing love 1 and won that singles match. 2 wins by Magdalena for Poland, and then Harriet Dart doing it today.
Well, that's 2 important points off the first serve for Mukova. She's still just under 50% off the first serve. 20 out of 41. And she will be very frustrated with that stat if she can't get this back on track.
That one just missing wide, but going back to the other point you made, Laura, about just how well she's striking the ball, the power she's able to generate, especially so on this kind of slowish court. Speaks of her timing as well. No chance. Very good from Mukova. Stays in this match, but she needs to break to keep this match going. 5-4.
Love hold to ask the question of her opponent, can you come out and serve for the match? In terms of ranking, this would not be a huge win for Golubic with where Mukova is at the moment, down at 149. But the moment, everything that's attached to this match, that's going to feel huge when you're stepping up to the line to close things out.
Yes, especially representing your country. She said that was the greatest achievement for her last year, winning that silver medal in the doubles in Tokyo alongside Bencic.
Time.
Straightforward hold for Golubic last time around. Prior to that, she had been broken in this second set. So let's see what this game holds. Oh, she was given a chance.
Mukova slowed it down. She had the chance on top of the net. This backhand took the pace off.
Especially after the first point. That was an excellent reply from Mukova.
Oh, that could be love 30.
I think just going back to the decision-making with all the shots she can play, Mukova. Oh, but again!
Oh, no. Golubic doing so well on the run to dig that out.
This game could have looked so different. But now, 2 match points. First point in this semi-final going to Switzerland. Great from Golubic. Nice exchange between the players. It's a first win for Golubic over Mukova as she prevails 6-4, 6-4.
Well, that was a very, very tight match for Golubic to come through, especially that last game. It could have really been so different for Mukova had she just been a little more consistent today, and you have to think that's just lack of matches this year. Hasn't really come together for her, but a huge win for the Swiss team. And to be honest, I would put Bencic as the favourite against Pliskova in this next match. So massive, massive opportunity for the Swiss team to make the final now.
And never easy for the player who comes out second best in this match. Just, it felt like maybe the first set there was a time she was going to get back into it when she had those 2 break points, trailing 4-3 in the first. That was a big moment. Also had some opportunities in the second, but boy, what a performance from Golubic. We saw everything from her, and the ball striking was amazing.
The ball striking, especially when she was able to add that extra bit of power on the backhand side, that was really her strongest part of her game today. And the little digs, she really pushed to hustle for the wide ones, for the short ones. She knew she had to run everything down, make Mukova play a couple extra balls, and just work. That was what she did so much better than her opponent today.
She should be smiling. What a performance for Golubic. They were so close last year, gaining that final. These Swiss ever closer now to another one. And you just saw Mukova exiting the court. Wish her again just clean bill of health for 2023, because she brings so much to the court.
She's so good, and she has so much potential, and she's been, you know, at the highest of the game already. But I feel like if she's just able to keep the body together, to keep her training blocks in order so that she can stay on the court, she has so much room for growth, and I see her as one of the most talented players in the game, honestly.
Well, that fan may not be happy with the result, but I think happy catching the tennis ball. Golubic very happy, no doubt.
Victoria, congratulations. What's the emotion at the moment? Is it relief you've got that point on the board?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm really happy, you know. I really enjoyed the battle today. So even in the end, obviously I was nervous, but still I was kind of enjoying the game. So I just tried to stay in the moment and play point by point, and now I'm just super happy I got that point.
It feels differently playing for your country as well, doesn't it? It's not just you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it feels more special for sure, and also it feels like there is some more pressure a little bit. So it's kind of a little more exhausting, the matches we play for the country than for ourselves, because obviously we want to do well for the team, and you know, like we have such a great team and such a great support, and it feels so good to win.
And I guess it's a nice pressure, but only if you win.
Exactly. I mean, like Billie Jean said, pressure is a privilege, right? So we really try to live this as a mindset, and you know, we enjoy ourselves, and sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easier, but you know, it's not like you just know it's going to be a tough way if you want to go until the finals or even win. So we are ready for that.
And now you're in the seats watching the others play. How's that going to be?
Actually, I'm so happy now. I can just sit there and, you know, relax a little bit, cool down, and then do my part for cheering, because actually this is a big part as well. You know, I feel like it can add like some percentage of how you play better, and this is what I felt from my teammates, and I'll try to do the same.
Well, congratulations to you and the team. Our winner, ladies and gentlemen, Viktorija Golubic. Congratulations to her fantastic performance.
Well, if we look at the match summary, Golubic all round so solid today. 10 forehand winners, 8 backhand, more winners overall than Mukova, who arguably has the bigger game. Kept the unforced error count low. I think for Mukova, that first serve percentage 1 was just her downfall today. It just was never quite there, and for someone who's got such a big serve, that just was never going to be good enough to beat such a solid opponent.
That just says it all. So elated, Viktorija Golubic, and why not? Because a point for Switzerland to start off this big semi-final against the Czech Republic. Straight sets over Karolina Mukova, who'd won the previous 2 matches. Stay with us because Belinda Bencic is on Karolina Pliskova.
Shall we wrap it up?
So the first match is done and dusted in this semi-final between the Czech Republic and Switzerland. Match 2 coming up between Belinda Bencic and Karolina Pliskova. Very, very tasty that one is. Olympic champion in Bencic against the former #1 in Pliskova. See the result. First one, Golubic over Mukova, 6-4, 6-4. Bencic and Pliskova, and then doubles. Bencic and Teichmann against Siniakova and Vondrousova.
Big thanks to China, the one there with the sounds. Folks, are we ready for our second singles match? Let's hear it if we are. welcome on court, Switzerland.
Switzerland the first to walk out on court.
Belinda
Bencic in front of the captain.
Accompanied by Captain Heinz Guttars. Please welcome on court, Czech Republic.
And the Czechs who have won the title so many times, 11 times to be more exact. She knows what position she is in now. Karolina Pliskova needs to win this one. And the captain just beside it, Petr Pala, might be reflecting on some of his decisions already in the singles, which we talked about in the first match, but still plenty of tennis to be played. It's been tough going for Pliskova so far this week, losing both of her matches, one in singles, one in a doubles that was not a live doubles. Bencic continues to thrive in this competition for the Swiss. Jomi Campestol in the chair.
Stop. Belinda, heads or tails? Heads. It's heads. Have a good match.
Bencic winning the toss, and she's going to serve. Once we get this semi-final underway, the matchup between Bencic and Pliskova, the second match of this semi-final. Players who have faced off previously, not as many times maybe as we would think, only just the two beforehand. Australia awaits. They're looking for a first title since 1974. Taking on either the Swiss or the Czech Republic. If it is going to be the Swiss, well, they faced off last year in the semi-finals, won by Switzerland. And Laura Robson is still alongside myself, Ravi Uba, for this second match. Laura, we talked in the first match about how we thought maybe a bit surprised in terms of the selection for the Czech Republic, but here we are now, 1-0 to the Swiss. And how do you think Belinda Bencic is going to be feeling at this moment?
I think she's feeling great. She's been looking great all week, playing some really solid tennis. She has that confidence coming into the event at the moment, has had a standout year. She's been super consistent across 2022. And to just come into this match with the 1-0 lead in the tie, knowing that she's playing the better tennis at the moment than Pliskova, I think she's feeling fantastic about things.
Yeah, sure to be the case for Bencic. It was a big win for her yesterday. That was, in essence, a knockout tie with Canada, because whoever was going to win that tie was going to go through to the semi-finals, and she faced Leylah Fernandez in the second match, clinched it for the Swiss. Now, they had a crazy battle in Guadalajara a few weeks ago. Fernandez saving match points to get to a third and some drama in the previous encounters. So it was a big win for Bencic, and she talked about afterwards. And for Pliskova, well, Laura, it's been a really tough season for her. It all started last year in the off-season. She broke her arm in the gym, a late start, and as she said, really didn't take off her season until the second half of the campaign. But it's one of those moments where she can turn around a disappointing maybe season for her by her standards, and also maybe turn around what's been a week for her that she would have wanted to have some wins already.
Exactly. This is her first Billie Jean King Cup since 2019, so she'll want to finish the year on a high. And I think just playing these extra couple of matches where she hasn't played that much tennis this year will just do her some good going into the off-season. But, you know, the serve in particular has been very up and down this year, so that's something she's definitely going to need to work on before Australia. But I think today she's just got to look to try and dominate from the baseline. That's her best game. That's not quite been there, but she can always bring it when she needs to. You never really know what Pliskova's going to turn up. She can have really bad days, but equally very good days.
But that she can. He is hoping that his player and Bencic can get the win for the Swiss. They won the Davis Cup on the men's side. That was, what, around almost 10 years ago in France. Clinching it was Roger against the French, and they've been so close to winning the Billie Jean King Cup last year, just edged by Russia. He's looking relaxed and a bit hungry.
He's got to wipe the crumbs off his hands before he goes for the fist pump.
Thank you very much indeed, and enjoy the game.
Yeah, enjoy the match indeed. It's the second match of this semi-final. Let's see what is about to unfold on center court at the Emirates Arena in Glasgow. World number 12 is Bencic, has been as high as number 4, has overcome some serious injuries in her career, back and wrist, making that success last year all the sweeter in Tokyo. Pliskova trying to extend this tie. She'll start. And it's an emphatic start from the Swiss.
Love 15.
Already teeing off on those returns.
I think one thing to note coming into today is that Pliskova was broken 4 times by Magdalena in singles just the other night, and I'd say Bencic has a bigger return and will look to do even more with that shot.
15-30.
Had to get up there quickly and did.
30-all.
Good recovery from Love 30.
First games can often set the tone, so yes, would like to hold on to her serve, Pliskova. And she has done that from Love 30.
First game.
She's been part of a couple winning Billie Jean King Cup teams before, so she knows what to do in the moment. Won those 2 decisive doubles matches with Strycova. They're really on it with the horns, aren't they?
It's nice to have that atmosphere, isn't it?
Representing Switzerland.
Or is it? You're looking at me like, maybe not.
I just wish there was more of a tune.
Okay. More of a purpose to it rather than just belting it out.
Love 15.
See some taping, the kinesio tape, and is there a little bit a bigger tape?
Yeah, some strapping going up the hamstring. Looks like it's doing a bit of adductor support as well.
Terrific stuff. Off the return, countering for Bencic.
She's got that fantastic Billie Jean King Cup record, 15-6 in singles, 6-2 in doubles. Especially at this stage of the competition, won 4 out of 5 matches here last year.
13-15.
Some very big ones. You know, I mentioned earlier about how tough it has been for players to come out after they're down. The team is down 1-love. Well, she did it last year against the Czechs. She beat Barbora Krejcikova, 2 very tight sets. Shot she really likes. Pliskova, that cross-court forehand, and she was tattooing a few of them.
The difficulty about that cross-court forehand exchange with Bencic is that she disguises the down-the-line shot so well. Has the exact same take-back, open stance with the legs.
Great slider serve. And she also holds. Third meeting between the players. One coming not so long ago at the US Open, and maybe a factor in the decision-making of Pale was won by Pliskova, 5-7, 6-4, 6-3. Although Bencic was up by a set and a break. 14 aces for Pliskova that day. Just had her moving side to side.
Love 15.
You definitely get the sense there's going to be plenty of those kind of rallies today from Bencic, just drawing Pliskova out wide, bringing her short with the cross-court angle.
Hammered the serve.
15 all.
It was a serve that really started to work for in the second set of that match at the US Open.
It's a serve that you kind of wonder how it breaks down, because it's such a simple take back and she's so tall that she really just has to hit the ball down. But a lot of the time it's like her legs go out and she just doesn't get the drive coming up underneath the ball, and that's when the double faults come in.
15-14.
Perhaps a little ambitious there from Pliskova, who was down love 30 in her first service game. Didn't have to face any break chances. Now we'll try to fend off 2. That certainly helps
30,
to erase them quickly. On the return was Bencic. And we also saw a couple of trademarks of her game in that rally. The swinging volley and that gorgeous backhand. She does get the break. Great start for Bencic. 2-1.
That's a solid start. And it's kind of how she's played all week, just being very steady from the back of the court. She's been winning 71% of her first serve points in both matches that she's played so far. Consistently looking for options on the return games and just getting over the line without too many complications.
Yeah, that certainly bodes well, especially in this event where you have to play multiple times. And we know in matches in the past, sometimes you can have these drawn out affairs, which she's won, by the way, quite a few of those drawn out matches. Wealth of experience. Good heart, formerly coached Steffi Graf. Great story told recently about how 1 year after she won Wimbledon, she just wanted to keep on hitting. So the day after she won Wimbledon, she wanted to hit, and they did. Hit out on the courts for half an hour. Nobody was around, unlike the day before.
Lot 15.
Able to get a good swing on that forehand. There was good pace on the serve, but it's moved into the hitting zone of that big forehand. It was a nice pickup off that shorter ball, but still plenty to work with for Bencic and no mistaking. She's worked a lot on her movement over the years. Is Billy still looking on?
Billy is ready for the cold weather of Scotland.
Well prepared. Forced to backtrack. Again, the countering so good from Bencic.
It just looks like Pliskova's not expecting that ball to come back, and not much of a recovery after the return. I guess against most people it wouldn't come back.
on that backhand side. She can do just about anything, Bencic. Great pass. 3-1.
Well, if you are going to approach, I wouldn't really do it to the Bencic backhand. She's so good at that. Loading into the outside leg. Such a natural shot for her anyway.
She would have been impressed by that shot. Pliskova eventually would make the quarterfinals at the US Open. Also, big win for her during that fortnight against Viktorija Azarenka, where she was able to rally in the first set. That was big, won the set, and then ended up winning in 3.
Too good.
30 love.
Easy power. And when she was at her very best, she was doing that consistently.
Well, she has been close. Those 2 Grand Slam finals. One at the US Open against Angelique Kerber when she was up by a break in the 3rd. And then against Ash Barty at Wimbledon, where she forced a 3rd. She rallied to force a 3rd. Barty coming through.
But that's one of those double faults where it looks like the legs are dead straight when she's making contact with the ball.
Oh, just perfect.
30.
Is that one of the things, although the motion looks beautiful, right, with the really tall players? Could that sometimes happen? We talk about the feet and the movement and the legs.
Sometimes, but I think Pliskova does it more so than others because she's so straight up on all of her shots. It's not just the serve. For me, that's why when she is flat-footed and isn't having a good movement day, it's so obvious.
Well, she really needs to hold on to her serve here. It looked like she was going to at 40 love.
Czech Republic is challenging the ball.
Challenge coming from Pliskova.
The ball was called in.
I want to say this one caught the line.
Advantage Switzerland. Czech Republic has 2 challenges remaining.
You're going to be a lines person next year.
But that caught a lot of the line.
that will be a sickener for Pliskova and Team Czech Republic. But the Swiss certainly will like it. Now 2 breaks to the good after Pliskova is broken from 40 love.
That's a tough break from 40 love. Just got slightly complacent, I think, from 40 love. Thought she had the game already.
I mean, she's just come out really firing Bencic, and often we know that Pliskova out on court doesn't give much away in terms of the body language. Do you sense though that it looks like it's going to be extremely difficult for her to come back and win this match?
She can always come back. It's just about whether she can sustain the level and the consistency more so that she needs to be able to beat Bencic, and that's just something that I haven't quite seen in her game, especially the last few tournaments. It's come in parts, in waves throughout the year. But in a matchup where you feel Bencic is so up for it, makes things even more difficult.
Yeah, devastated last year, understandably, after they lost the final. And the team not happy with a late switch in terms of the singles that was made in the final, but the end result was them finishing runner-up. The previous event was in Guadalajara a few weeks ago, where Pliskova, she lost the first round to Jelena Rybakina. A tough draw, Wimbledon champion. It was 7-6, 6-2. They're rolling along on serve around 20 minutes in, and it was already, what, 4-3. She was the first to break. She felt like she was going to serve out the set, but she was broken straight back, and that started the comeback for Rybakina. Oh, a great stretch by Pliskova. Just couldn't get there, Bencic.
The long levers of Pliskova doing her a solid there. Has that extra bit of reach available, and that one was a full stretch. Two break points.
Czech Republic.
A couple of double faults in that game, and Pliskova gets one of the breaks back.
4 games to 2.
There's her husband there looking on. Just a couple of people back.
Well, they were double faults that really were quite similar to the ones that Pliskova's been doing, just not driving through the legs, no height on the jump, and then just coming across the body and collapsing slightly on the shot.
Low 15.
Nice comeback from Bencic.
Good follow-up.
But she has, you know, Laura, she has struggled with double faults in her career from time to time.
And she's really struggled with the serve in the past, and then went through a phase of kind of just placing it in, and now is back to trying to do something with the ball. Goes for plenty of pace, plenty of slice as well.
She's got one of the breaks back. Keen to apply this scoreboard pressure on Bencic, get the hold in this game, Pliskova. Two break-back points.
And pulled off that one. The ball heavy through the middle of the court's been working so well against Pliskova.
Dictating with the backhand. Splendid from Bencic. And it is break recovered for her. Good stretch right at the last after the backhand, doing all the damage. 5-2.
Pliskova's body language there is maybe telling us about how she feels she's playing right now.
Yeah, usually pretty ice cool out on the court, Pliskova. But interesting to hear former coach Sasha Bain talking on a podcast a while back about how her personality, what she's like. I think she's actually, she's very, very funny. Very, very funny off the court, and no problem at all. Works very hard at her game. You know, no issue with that.
We don't get to the highest of highs in the tennis world without working hard. You know, she's clearly very talented, but I think just because of the way she plays and the way she moves, it's deceptive, and people don't think that she puts in the practice and the hours that it takes to get to the top.
Yeah. And she clearly has. Pliskova, things not going her way. Just had in this match, hoping for a turnaround. New balls for Bencic. Twin sister Christina also plays, although currently off the tour. She's a left-hander. Just became a mum.
30 left.
She's come out trying to inject a little bit extra pace even, Pliskova. Matched by Bencic because the return was so well struck by Pliskova. Three set points. First one is taken by Bencic.
6 games to 2.
Fine display from the Swiss #1 in the first set. They're looking to clinch this tie and get to the final. It's looking good for them after Bencic takes the first. 6-2.
Well, couldn't have played a better game to close things out. Held to love. And if we just take a quick look at the first set stats. Super solid from Bencic. I think for me, unforced error count from Pliskova needs to come down a little in the second set. Otherwise, she played some really good points at times, just couldn't find the consistency. That first serve percentage 147. Anyone with a serve as big as Pliskova should not be under 50% ever. And for Bencic to actually be the biggest server today is unlikely. So just a little better from Bencic overall.
All smiles from the captain, also Bencic. Things going the plan.
He was happy. He's one set away from the final.
He was named captain in 2012. Has been at the helm for a long time. Besides being a former player and a Grand Slam champion in doubles, played singles, also former top 25, won titles. Does a lot of media work in Switzerland, part of the tournament, as well in Stuttgart, asking the questions out on the court. So very involved with tennis. And what a great tradition for the Swiss. We know about the depth in Czech women's tennis and what they've done in the competition. But the Swiss, also Martina Hingis, you think of her. Billie Jean will know about Martina Hingis. Also players after that. We've so many players, of course, but you think some who've gone deep at Grand Slams. You know, Patty Schneider and Tamara Baczynski was a Grand Slam semi-finalist.
Yeah, I love Baczynski's story about how she stopped for a while, ended up doing a bit of waitressing because she wasn't sure if she wanted to come back to tennis, and was healthy for a while, came back, did some unbelievable things on the court.
Yeah, certainly did. Pliskova would like to order up a set win in set #2. Needs to keep this tie going. The way she described it is probably one of the quotes of the fortnight at the US Open after making the quarterfinals. She said, you know, asked about it a year. Well, it's been a disaster, but making the quarterfinals means it's been less of a disaster in 2022.
I can't imagine how it must feel to just not find your game after being so high in the rankings for so long. And she was so steady across the year. You never really saw her have these unusual results. Takes some getting used to.
Come out of the toilet break. Playing very, very well. And you know about injuries very well. Too well, Laura. But in this case, for this year, can she maybe think to herself, well, yeah, it's been that type of a year because of the injury?
Well, it started off so weird because of the freak accident with the broken arm, and from then you don't want to push on and come back too soon. And it was really her first major injury, so it's dealing with that whole mindset for the first time.
And don't forget, last year she played at the WTA finals.
Pliskova's just got to try and take some more time away from Bencic, because this has been her game plan throughout, to go back behind, to open up the lines first.
Does get the hold to start.
First game, second set.
Well, we wanted to take a look at the first serve placement for Pliskova. Absolutely zero in the body on the ad side, and majority coming in that T section so that she can open up the side of the court, but just hasn't been quite sharp enough in the third ball after the serve yet. Bencic, meanwhile, has gone for the wide one. She loves the slider, especially on that juice side. It's been very successful. She's been able to open up the lines and kind of play the opposite way to how Pliskova is doing.
Come out hitting very, very well.
Well, this is where Pliskova is going to be so dangerous. This return game, she can swing freely.
Yes, indeed. It's coming very hard at Bencic. Challenge is on the way from the Swiss.
And the difference in that rally for me is when pushed wide, Pliskova straight away went for the open line. She's not looking to stay in the rally any longer. And she can afford to do that. She hits such a big ball that Bencic is always going to be on the back foot, even if she's able to get there.
Another return crushed.
Love 14.
Just about the perfect return game played by Pliskova and a fist pump to punctuate the break of serve.
Well, a break to love straight after a very easy, comfortable service hold to open the first set is exactly what Pliskova was looking for. Don't know what they told her at the change of ends, but it's clearly worked.
Toilet break, helping we see somebody. Well, we see a fair bit of toilet breaks now. And you can tell us, Laura, what happens at a toilet break. I mean, you have to go, obviously, but what kind of thinking is involved if you want to, if you're down a set, for example?
Oh, it's just given her captain a chance to get some extra time to chat things over and, what are you going to come out and do? What's your attitude going to look like? Everybody, including Bencic, knows that Pliskova can play much better than she did in the first set. So you have to expect that this is going to come at you.
Looking so much more energized between her shots and rallies, bending, using the legs. Yeah, she's playing terrific tennis. Karolina Pliskova to start the second set.
Czech Republic leads 3-0.
It's Bencic who is up by a set, but Pliskova leading 3-love in the second.
And she's just added some extra pop on the serve. Average serve speeds in the first set from Pliskova, 104 miles per hour on the first, 88 on the second. And then average first of set two is just a couple of miles per hour faster, and again going for actually a bit slower on the second, but just making sure it goes in so that she doesn't throw in those double faults.
They can make all the difference. I mean, even a couple of miles per hour, those margins can count for a lot.
And because Bencic is so close when she returns, she doesn't like to give up the baseline. If you're able to get extra power straight into her body, it's very, very tough for her to do anything with the ball.
Low 15.
Just feeling it, feeling what's coming from the other side of the net on the returns now from Pliskova. But even bigger than usual on that second serve.
That's more like it. Just needs the width, doesn't she? As soon as Pliskova has to cut off the angle with her movement, that's when she's very vulnerable from the back.
Both their previous matches went to 3 sets. She's trying to force a third one here. Bubbling over.
And she can get very, very frustrated. I've seen plenty of matches where Bencic has just been in her own head, can't get out of this negative energy.
Oh, she did the hard part, did Pliskova.
Yes. Advantage, Switzerland.
This would be a huge hold.
And it is a hold indeed, not a break of serve.
Czech Republic leads 3 games to 1.
That first meeting was 2019 Indian Wells. And those interesting conditions for players because always considered a slower hard court, high bounce, but the ball goes through the air in the thin air. 6-3, 4-6, 6-3. Carved out 16 break chances that day to 7. Key moment in the decider is when she broke for 4-3 in the third. And she is desperately hoping to get to a third in this one, Pliskova.
Let for service. Let for service. 15 all.
She's been in tough positions out on the court, able to rally. Still a long way to go in this one for Pliskova, but I recall that match she played with Serena at the Australian Open a few years ago when she was down 5-1 in the third, came back to win it. There's a bit of an ankle turn for Serena in that third set. Oh, not quite.
15-13.
Well, Bencic just has to force herself to keep going for the ball. Anytime she's dropped it in close to the lines, Pliskova's dropped into this slice, especially on that backhand side. And sometimes in these moments, you just have to tell yourself to wait for your opponent's level to drop. Because if Pliskova is able to do this throughout the rest of the match, then too good. But if not, and it's been the case for most of the year that she has not been able to sustain this level, then you create your chances.
One of her strengths is anticipation. Bencic, and early in the rally anticipated a forehand down the line from Pliskova. And then ending with a backhand down the line. Time for that ace. Bencic was in that vicinity. So it made it more difficult for Pliskova, but she came through.
And if we look at the huge difference at the moment in Pliskova's game, it's points off the serve. Second serve, points won in the first set, 29%. Second serve, points won in the second set, 75.
Czech Republic.
She was almost up for love, but she'll be very happy not to get broken in the last game. Maintains the 3-game cushion, 4-1. You look at those numbers, Lauren, we analyze them, and initially we think, oh, you know, a player's second serve points won, or what it may be, first serve, first set, second set. There's a big gap, but there's always so much that goes into it, right? It's not just the case of, for example, in this case, her going for more on the second serve. It's backing it up, isn't it?
It's the footwork after the serve that's a huge difference in Pliskova's game. When she's fired up and creates that energy off the serve and keeps that in the recovery after the serve, then she plays great first strike tennis. But if the energy dip comes back, then we'll see that first serve percentage drop again and how much it affects the rest of her game.
And that's why sometimes you hear the expression, you're playing a big server, try to move them around and take away their legs. That drive on the serve is so important. About 10 minutes to 9 in Glasgow. This is the second match of the semifinal between the Czech Republic and Switzerland. The Swiss leading 1-0, and Bencic could get them to the final with a win. She will get them to the final with a win. If not, it could be a very, very late night in Glasgow.
A difficult situation for the players in this second semi-final of the day to come back tomorrow. Whoever wins, far less recovery than the Australian team. Well, the serve is really starting to struggle. Fifth double fault.
Thank you.
Hung in the air for such a long time, but no problems at all for Bencic on that backhand side.
15-13.
And you make a good point, Laura, about the turnaround. And obviously the Swiss, they want to do it here. They don't want to have to play the doubles.
It's just huge.
14.
And for Bencic, if she's already tired from the rest of the week and looking ahead to tomorrow, should they get through this match, she's such a big part of the Swiss team that she knows she's going to play singles and most likely doubles.
A couple of times she somehow stayed at that point, Bencic.
13-14.
Oh, late call.
Czech Republic is challenging the call.
Worth a challenge, I think.
The ball was called out.
Oh, it's just wide.
Deuce.
That's a huge point for Bencic.
Czech Republic has 2 challenges remaining.
Pliskova throwing everything at Bencic on the 2 break points. She somehow got through them, Bencic.
Advantage Czech Republic.
Under so much pressure that she feels she needs to go that close to the line at the moment.
Third chance in this game. This is a masterclass in defending these break points, Bencic.
Pliskova's had 6 break points in this match, only converted 2, so the scoreline could be even more lopsided. That just reminded me, I was doing some research for Jill Teichmann earlier, and in her singles match the other day, she only converted 6 out of 19 break points. I would have lost the plot.
Must have been that epic against Elisabetta Cocciaretto, which is a huge win for the Swiss in that tie. This could be a very huge game for Bencic, saving the break points, but also the way that she did, because on each of the 3 of them, Pliskova came out firing, and it seemed like any time in those rallies she was going to get the break. A forced error was going to come, but not so. Great stuff from Bencic.
And how often do we see someone save break points in their own service game and then manage to break straight away in the next? Wow, not with tennis like that.
What she almost did, to be fair, in the last game, had to be saved with an ace from Pliskova.
A smart second serve, getting it high above the shoulder on the Bencic backhand. Because she only ever hits open stance, she either has to take that all the way on the rise or let it drop completely.
Took that one quite early.
That's huge. Only 111 miles per hour, but that was stomped Out wide, so flat.
And that
Czech
too.
Republic. Czech Republic leads
Big turnaround in this second set. Level of Pliskova has really, really risen. She's a game away from forcing a third. 5-2. She was practicing out in the Czech Republic before heading out to Scotland around last weekend, practicing at the big club, Sparta Prague club.
A difficult time of year, this one, because if you haven't played since Guadalajara, you've got a couple of weeks between then and now, and it's kind of like, what do you do with that time? So a couple of players this week have played big challenges. Golubic played a tournament. Vondrousova played Shrewsbury. Almost everyone.
Yeah, they had success. A couple of the Italians as well. Paolini and Quacerato. Serving to stay in the second set.
love.
Barely misses any of those swinging volleys.
I practiced when I was much younger at Martina Hingis's mother's academy, just like Bencic, and there was baskets upon baskets upon baskets of swing volleys. So I can understand why she doesn't miss many.
Led for service.
If any.
How did you enjoy your time there?
It was lovely.
Yeah, and of course she did coach, or she was coached by Melody Molitor, the mom of Martina, and for a lot of time comparisons made in terms of the game. But she's kind of said, she said it a few times, that similar in some ways, but different also in that she's much more of a power player than Hingis. But maybe see some similarities in the way they can glide into their shots.
Good hold.
New balls, please.
That's
Czech Republic leads
not an announcement that Bencic will want to hear. New balls for Pliskova serving for the set.
Love 15.
Well. Hasn't hit one this entire set, and then serving for it.
That was a big forehand, especially down love 15, had loads of time to think about it.
Such a clever serve, straight through the body.
Bounce back nicely from that double fault. Siniakova and Vondrousova still on the bench. So well played by Bencic.
Pliskova getting slightly passive in the rally. A few forehands that she could have unleashed on. Decided to wait for the error instead. And what she got was that.
Yeah, you're right, Laura. And we know this is a different scenario, right? Trying to serve out a set. You can just see the shift in this game.
Oh, too good. Couldn't read that one at all. Bencic thought it was coming in through the body again.
Advantage, Czech Republic.
The aces came out on the 2 break points in this set for Pliskova. Great timing for that, and also that serve to bring up a set point.
Bencic is so desperate to get back into this set. She's actually done so well to bring back the positive energy since a racket throw a couple of games ago.
She'll be buoyed by that. Will she be able to find another ace on a break point in this set, Pliskova? Just as good, maybe. Hard into the body.
And you can see Bencic trying to figure out where it's going to go, but Pliskova's ball toss, she kind of doesn't care where the ball is thrown up. She commits to where she wants to hit the serve well before that.
Once it got to that backhand side, Bencic coming through.
Oh, surely she can't bomb down another serve.
Oh, it drops over.
Oh, no way. Bencic had played such a solid point. She got the look in that she was hoping for on the return. Played a couple deep shots.
On the line.
Advantage, Switzerland.
Pressure continuing to mount on Pliskova. This time, it is the break for Bencic.
Czech Republic leads 5 games to 4.
And there had been little sign of it throughout the set, the way she was serving, the way she was playing. Pliskova unable to close it out, and we're back on serve.
Where did that come from? It's been so solid on the serve from Pliskova throughout this second set, and then it started with a double fault on the first point of the game, and it just gave Bencic that hope that she could get herself back in this. One set point gone for Pliskova.
Yeah, I reflect on that match in Guadalajara against Zidansek in the first set, in which it was similar in the sense that they went through that entire first set, for most of it, most of it in the early going, holding very, very comfortably. So when she broke to get into position to try and serve out, you thought, okay, this is going to be, based on what we've seen, pretty straightforward. But the opposite, as we peel back the layers, is because of the season it has been for, not as many victories for, maybe the confidence isn't as high. Maybe we just saw a bit of that also in this moment. Now wearing a jacket looking on is Teichmann, who is actually pretty good friends with Pliskova.
Now, well, I'm just thinking now it's up to Bencic after the relief of breaking in the last game to try and keep the energy up on her own serve here.
Yes, and it's still a, a dicey situation for serving to stay in the set. Again, things shift around.
Especially dicey with returns like that.
And maybe if there was a bit of tension in the last game, she'll come out of this game returning the way she had been, just cranking.
Yeah, a bit like how it's easier to break for the match sometimes than to serve for it yourself. Same goes for trying to take it to a third. Well, I was going to say Bencic got a little passive, much like Pliskova did, trying to serve it out herself in the last game, but just the anticipation on this one was outrageous. Read the ball, takes it on the rise because she got there that early.
Wonderful court coverage, but not only the defending, doing something with those balls on the counter, the sting and the angles. She levels.
5 games over.
Still a record for Bencic this season, 38 and 18 coming in. Won a title in Charleston on the green clay. First clay court final for her. That was right after making the semifinals in Miami, beaten by Naomi Osaka, who she had a very good record against, but Osaka winning that day. Also a finalist in Berlin on the grass. She loves playing on the grass. Wonderful serve +1 from Pliskova.
And now that it's back on evens in the scoreline, I just feel like Pliskova is going to add that extra power to her game again. What got her the lead in the first place.
She'll be looking to have the control as well with that power, and she did.
30 long.
A great combination from Pliskova. Often found the drop shot at 40 love.
Czech Republic
Mixing it in. Executed it perfectly. Out in front once again in the second. 6-5.
Needed that hold to love after a tough couple of games, allowing Bencic back into the second set.
Serving to get to the tiebreak is Belinda Bencic in this second set. He's off to a good start.
15 long.
Well, Bencic's anticipation has been so good that Pliskova knew she had to wait for her opponent to pick a side there. Oh.
30-15.
First double fault in a while from Bencic. 6 for the match.
Oh, what a confident shot that was at 30-all. After hitting the double fault, she took it on. Gutsy stuff from Bencic.
Switzerland.
She does get there.
6 games all, tie break. Each team receives one additional challenge.
Well, it looked a little shaky with the double fault to go 30-all, but then pulled it out with the forehand line to set herself up to get to the tiebreak. And for me, I think it's just about who's going to serve and return bigger here. Who's going to be brave and go after it?
Yes, in this very, very tense moment. When she came through yesterday against Leila Fernandez,
1-0.
similar in the sense that the first set was pretty quick in her favor. Then it was more of a back and forth in the second. She was able to serve it out the second time of asking. And very honest after the match, you know, giving you some insight what it's like, you know, trying to serve it out.
Well, I was waiting for the backhand line. Bencic didn't quite get the angle that she wanted on it, but it was just enough height on the ball that Pliskova had to come over the top, and you could see she just didn't get the knee bend underneath the shot.
It was important to get that point for Pliskova rather than face a love 3 deficit.
Now, where does she go with the first serve here? The fast body has worked very well on the outside.
On that backhand wing, and she likes to lob. Always an opportunity for Bencic.
Bang on the line.
Czech Republic.
Keeping the pressure on.
She's turned it around in this tiebreak.
Oh, well, I almost felt that was going to be a double fault the way Bencic collapsed on the first serve, and that was a very tight second. Took all the pace off, went for the kick. That was a big opportunity missed from Pliskova.
Just encouragement, you'd think at this stage from both captains. Probably no time for any sort of insight unless they've picked up something. He's seen it all before, and many times his team has come out on top, and he's been around for such a long time as well, Gunther.
Republic
So
is challenging
close.
the call on the left far side.
Bencic left it too soon, I think. She was hoping it was going to be wide, but I'm not entirely convinced.
Yeah, it was.
4-3.
That's a huge point.
Switzerland.
She had a second chance in that rally because Bencic with open space through the direction of Pliskova. Just flawless, so calm on that point, Pliskova.
4-0.
No.
Went big.
5-4.
Went so big.
Switzerland.
Oh, I can understand why she's gone for a big serve, but why would you not go for the body one? It's worked so well. That is a gift.
Now this match on the racket of Bencic.
Wait, please. Excuse me, sir. Thank you.
Oh,
5-0.
it's
You're
gone over.
Joking. That trickled. You can only laugh at that. She had the right intention, was well inside the baseline for the second serve.
You can only laugh if you're her. Bencic will not be laughing. Now, however, it is a match point and a point to get to the final.
6-5. Switzerland.
Clutch. That is so clutch from Pliskova.
6-all.
Well, that forehand put away ended up so close to the net that I held my breath the entire time she hit it. Huge serve out wide.
We've seen some eventful tie breaks today. This is another. A second serve was very useful from Pliskova, but Bencic was there. A match point now on her own serve. Belinda Bencic has come through for Switzerland once again. And the Swiss are into a second final in as many seasons. Drama at the last, but it is Bencic who prevails. 6-2, 7-6.
Well, it could not have been any closer in that second set. There were some nerves from both players trying to close it out for Pliskova. She couldn't quite get over the line, wasn't helped by the double fault. And for Bencic, she just held her nerves so well there. Under pressure throughout the set, managed to claw her way back in from 5-2 down, and has now come through in straight sets to get her country to the final.
Yes, brilliant. And brilliant scenes. You can see we've talked about how close-knit the team is. A similar group of players for so many years. She's played her part this week. Teichmann, and very well might play her part tomorrow in the final against Australia. Second straight year where they'll be meeting in the Billie Jean King Cup. Last year it was in the semi-finals.
Huge first serve on match point. Couldn't ask for a better chance at setting herself up to win the match, and she did just that. Forced herself to be aggressive when it mattered, was the one to open up the lines, come forward when needed, played bigger tennis today.
Yeah, composure she showed. Don't forget about that net cord in the tiebreak. Went against her. And it has been a very tough year for Pliskova with that injury. She'll be hoping for really a turnaround in 2023, but such a good fight back from her in the second set. So close to taking it to a third. We shouldn't forget also that she had chances to go by a double break, 3 break points in one game, and Bencic played those 3 remarkably well because she had to defend on those break points. But all the big points go in her favor.
There's been a couple sets like that this year from Pliskova, hasn't there? When she's been leading, lost serve, and for someone who's so dominant off the serve usually, it's just a part of her game that we're not used to seeing, but you have to think that she's just going to get better and back on tour. But let's hear from Belinda.
Massive congratulations to you and to Switzerland. How are you feeling?
Feels pretty good. We're feeling really happy and relieved, and of course so great to be in the final again. I mean, of course we were trying for that, of course, but I think it's an amazing achievement after last year to kind of prove it again.
And what about this game itself? You knew she'd come right back at you, and she did.
Yeah, she did. She can play really well, and she started to be more aggressive and played much faster than in the second set. I feel like when someone is like with the back against the wall, then they free up and they start playing well. But of course, it's hard to play against her. She always come up with a big serve. So I'm really happy that I managed to come through in that tie-break.
And the pressure of playing for your country, they say it's a nice pressure. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, somehow I'm playing well so far. So, of course, it's a huge pressure because you want to do well, not only for yourself, but for your country. And, I mean, we saw it earlier today when Great Britain played Australia. I mean, it's like the line is so small between, like, the victory and the heartbreak. So, yeah.
And tell us about the spirit in this Swiss team.
Yeah, it definitely tells about the spirit. I mean, of course, we're all like really just trying to push every ball, even from the bench with your like eyes. And it's so hard to be on the bench and to cheer for your teammate, but it gives you so much energy when you're on the court. And I appreciated it so much because they spend the same kind of energy when I'm on the court, when they're sitting and cheering.
What a great game you played, and another very happy, smiling face beside your captain. What do you say to this team of yours?
Oh, fabulous. I mean, you know, they're the best teams in the world, and we're in the finals for the second time in a row. You know, it takes so little to win, or no, it takes a lot to win, but so little not to win. I mean, you know, here we could have been a let court away in the tie-break. So, you know, to come back and try it again and again and again in a match like the way she did it, and then find something extra, I mean, that makes them special.
And to get into this final, you know, after losing last year, into this final again, it takes a lot.
Oh, it takes a lot. I mean, again, there are the best teams in the world, and it's, you know, you have to play at your best to get to the semis, to get your best to get to the finals, and we have to be at our absolute best to win it.
So what's going to make the difference this time, do you think, in the final against Australia?
Well, in the end, it's belief. That's what it comes down to. It's heart and belief. Everyone can hit the ball, but what makes the difference? Nobody really knows. There's something out there that makes a difference. Why did she win this tiebreak the way she did it? You know, a lot of it is just belief, trust it, see it, feel it, and hit it.
And what would it mean to Switzerland as a country to finally win the Billie Jean King Cup?
It would be huge. You know, the man did it with Federer and Wawrinka. And for years we've been saying, what they can do, we can do too. So, hey, there's one more to go.
One more to do. Congratulations for a wonderful performance today, and good luck in the final tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, closer, much closer now.
Well, let's take a look at the match. Belinda just forced herself to be aggressive. 10 forehand winners. Pliskova actually coming out on top in a lot of these, and I think that just shows you how close, especially that second set was. But break points won. Bencic just able to break a couple more times, keep the unforced error count a little lower, and that's all there was to it in the end.
And so the final is set between Switzerland and Australia. Swiss might be on paper just the favorite going to that one second straight time into the final, looking for a first ever title in the Billie Jean King Cup. Join us for all the action tomorrow. But for now, good night.